But we have got the cars gridded up for the next race, and this is the Mini Miglia race. We had one of their races yesterday. The qualifying was interesting, but they're back with us today. And a lot of these are in two parts. These grids, and we'll quickly run through the grid for you. So the Mini Miglias, the kind of the quicker end of the grid is lining up as follows. So Ian Curley is on pole with Aaron Smith alongside him. We've then got on the second row Kane Austin in the number 11 and Rupert Death in the number 23. Sam Summerhays lines up in 5th in the 85 and Josh Canning in the 36. Phil Bullen-Brown in the number 7 lines up in 7th. Mark Cohen in the 99 lines up 8th. Colin Peacock in the number 6 lines up 9th. Elliot Stafford joins him on row 5 in the 82. Row 6 is made up of Ryan Taylor in the 84 and Sean King in the 89. Robert Humphries and in the 28 and Rob Howard in the 72 make up row 7, and the back of the Mini Miglia class cars is Mark Sims in the 20. We then have the second grid that will be starting, and this is for the Mini Libra cars. A little bit slower, these ones, but they'll be starting just behind them, and the pole in that group is the 126 of Peter Hills. Joined alongside him on row 10 is the 107 of James Lindridge. The 121 of Richard Billingham is joined on row 11 by the 127 of Ian Fraser. Row 12 is 123 of Hugh Turner and the 113 of Philip Harvey. Row 13 is made up of Les Stanton in the 113 car, the 133 car, and Andrew Dickerson in car 179. And the final row of this, what is a mammoth grid, is row 14 is the 276 car of Ben Norfolk and the 595 car of Julian Proctor. So yesterday we had some cracking battles with these cars. Ian Curley is certainly very, very quick, as is Aaron Smith, Rupert Death, Kane Austin. These are all names that we mentioned. Sam Summerhays yesterday in the 85 came back after a relatively slow start, but made headway. And another name to look out for is a name you're going to hear a lot in commentary this weekend. It's the number 7 car of Phil Bullen-Brown, and he's racing in quite a number of different mini classes this weekend. So the cars now making their way to the grid, and the marshals have done a cracking job. Remember, it's not like Formula 1. They don't have those big light boards. They have to do all of this gridding up manually, and especially when it's a split grid with quite so many cars, there's a lot of work the marshals have to do to get them out there. So cracking job by the start line team and the pit lane team, and the first few rows are already ready to go with this one. And it is just a reminder, Ian Curley in the number 5 in that white car with a bit of red and kind of reddy orange and black flecks, and another white car 0 of Aaron Smith, but that's got a kind of dark purpley fleck bonnet to that one. He joined just behind him is Kane Austin, and at the moment the number 23 of Rupert Death is unfortunately not there. So I don't know what's happened to Rupert Death's car. He was certainly very competitive yesterday, but that car is unfortunately not with us. So we wait now for the green flag at the back of the grid. The green flag is waved. We wait for the red light to go on, and this race will be away. The red light is on, and the race is away, and it's a great start from the front row by Ian Curley in the number 5. He gets really well, but Kane Austin in that very vibrant yellow and grey car in the number 11 makes a great start and manages to get ahead of Aaron Smith in the 0. So as they head down towards Druids at the moment, it is Ian Curley in the number 5 that leads. It's Kane Austin in 11 that's second, and it's Aaron Smith in 3rd. Unfortunately, everyone's got through Paddock Hill Bend and what looks like Druids safely.
Certainly have, yeah. Great job then by everybody as Ian Curley leads the pack down towards Graham Hill Bend for the first time. A non-finisher yesterday as we go sideways with Kane Astin there. He's going to be now under attack from the 0 machine of Aaron Smith. It's going to be side by side for them down towards Surtees for the first time of asking, and Aaron can't quite hold on to the inside line. So Kane Astin still sits there in second position. I was just going to say though that Ian Curley was a non-finisher yesterday, the first time this year. So the man who came here as the championship leader, work to do. The good thing is though, you can drop some scores from the championship, and already on this opening lap lap, he's pulled almost a second over the rest of the field as they now start to charge down towards Paddock Hill Bend. We've got Sam Summerhays into the mix as well in 4th position, not able to get his way through. Aaron Smith gets the cut back through Paddock Hill Bend to the inside of Kane Astin, and it will be him through as well. Maybe Sam Summerhays to follow at the same time. He's going to have that door wide open, and Kane has no real retaliation for now, although he does get a nice swoop in line on the outside, and he'll have the inside now for the next left-hander.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a couple of other cars to keep an eye on that. Sam Summerhays had made a better start this time around, but he's under huge pressure from Phil Bullen-Brown in that number 7, that really vibrant orange-coloured car. And he's putting Sam Summerhays under lots of pressure as they're side by side as they head through Surtees and up towards Clearways and through Clark. But also joining that mix behind Bullen-Brown is the number 6 car of Colin Peacock, who's come up from a couple of rows back further in the grid. And that's the cracking little battle at the moment for what is 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th place at the moment. Those cars absolutely going for it. Phil Bullen-Brown, a man who's racing in a lot of cars, different cars this weekend, tries to have a bit of an attack going into Paddock Hill Bend. He couldn't make that stick, but as they head towards Druids, he's going to have another go at Canning in the 36 car. Phil Bullen-Brown in that car that's very, very vibrant. You can see it from pretty much wherever you are on the circuit, that kind of orange colour, and just seeing if he can make any more headway. Certainly not going to manage it through Graham Hill Bend as the cars head up towards the Clearway section. And our leader, Ian Curley, as you said yesterday, didn't manage to finish the race. He's certainly starting to get a bit of a lead at the moment, which is cracking to see. So behind in second place, Aaron Smith has got that second place now relatively comfortably, I would say, or certainly comfortably in terms of mini racing as you can be. And Kane Astin in that 3rd place at the moment in that number 11 car, that vibrant yellow and grey colour. Looks like he's now on the attack, but a couple of places back, Phil Bullen-Brown and Josh Canning are having a cracking battle. It does look like there's a bit of damage to the back of Josh Canning's car. They've obviously come together somewhere around the track, but Phil Bullen-Brown manages to get ahead of Josh Canning, and now he's going to be making his way towards Sam Summerhays in the number 85, that kind of dark pastel blue colour car. He's going to be making his way towards him. That was a great move, but there is a little bit of damage on the back of Josh Canning's car, something to be definitely keeping an eye on. But our leading trio have now got a little bit close together, and Aaron Smith does look like he's creeping up a little bit close to Ian Curley, doesn't he? He
is, yep. So he's getting into that rhythm now of trying to catch the toe and make himself a little bit more known to the back of our race leader. So it could be a challenge on here before too much longer, with Aaron Smith and Kane Astin now starting to make it a trio for the lead. A little bit of no man's land for Sam Summerhays in 4th place, and then Phil Bullen-Brown comes next in that very brightly orange machine, with Josh Canning, as you said, with that wheel arch, I think, which is just rubbing on the tyre, so that is causing some smoke and maybe just making the car a little bit uneasy to drive as well. So he'll be under pressure before too much longer from Colin Peacock in that number 6 machine, which is just on the coattails on the run down towards Graham Hill Bend. We've got another move being made further back down the inside in towards Graham Hill Bend. It's the orange machine which lunges for a lovely move there. That's going to be Ryan Taylor, who works his way through and gets the place away on the run towards the left-hander of Surtees corner. But for the race lead, Ian Curley now very much under pressure from Aaron Smith. It's going to be a drag race to the line. We've still got 15 minutes to go, so nothing to get too impressed about, because it could change many more times until we see the checkered flag. But Aaron Smith is going to try and have his first move for the lead. Doesn't quite come in towards Paddock Hill Bend. Almost leaves the door open for Kane Astin to squeeze through, but in fact they stay as they were. Yeah, that's it. And one battle we haven't yet talked about is the battle for the Libra class, because that is incredibly hotting up as the leaders of that Libra class come across the line at the moment. It's James Lindridge was leading across the line, but it does look like it's going to be the 127 car of Ian Fraser who's put under immense amount of pressure. But even that's changing as they go across the line there, because it looks like it could also be the 123 car of Turner that's getting right into the mix as well. But that Libra group class car, as they come down towards Graham Hill Bend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, all incredibly close together, and this could be anyone's race in this Libra group, couldn't it? Yep, 2 separate races to keep an eye on at the minute as we turn away through the right-hander of Clearways now. This is the car of number 84, Ryan Taylor, who just got the job done a few laps ago, so he's now ahead as they work their way across the start-finish line. 99 is the car which is chasing, which is Mark Cowan on the run down towards the first corner, but nothing really happening between those 2 or 3 cars at the minute. But for the race lead again, Ian Curley Curley still feeling the pressure from the likes of Aaron Smith and Kane Astin. Sam Summerhays, let's have a quick look at his lap actually, 54.7, which was 3/10 quicker than the race leader. So he is the man on the move at the minute in that number 85 machine, and he's only going to be probably about 1.2 seconds, maybe about a second actually, behind by the time they complete this lap. So of course the top three continue to battle. Sam Summerhays gets closer and closer.
Yeah, Kane Astin looks like the one who's trying to make a move for second place every time they come down through Paddock Hill Bend, and certainly as they go up towards Druids, it looks like he's going to try and make a move around the outside. So that's something to keep an eye on when they go this time by. They head down towards Paddock Hill Bend and they spread out. It's that usual mini bomb burst thing, but great piece of defensive driving by Curley in the number 5, holding off Aaron Smith in the 0 car. But Aaron Smith looking like he's going to make a dive down the inside as they go towards Druids. He held off Kane Astin as well. He's kind of all over the back of Aaron Smith, and Aaron Smith having to do a heck of a lot of work here because he's trying to attack for the lead, but he's also trying to hold off a very, very rapid Kane Astin in that number 11. And all of this is playing into the hands of Sam Summerhays. As you mentioned, the 85 car, that kind of dark pastely blue colour, is closing in on these three, and I think before long this is going to be a 4-way battle for the lead, not just a 3-way battle.
Libra's still battling as well. Ian Fraser heads the field now down towards Graham Hill Bend. You've got James Lindridge not too far back as well, and then joining them is going to be Peter Hills. In fact, pretty much all of the Libras together here. You've got 5, 6, 7, 8 of them pretty much in one long line along the back straight. So we'll keep an eye on how that all unfolds, but Ian Fraser very much in command at the minute, although James Landridge has a little bit of a look to the inside through Clearways. One very, very wide there, which is the 1-2-1 machine of Richard Billingham. So already he's doing double duty this weekend from one car to another. Sits there in 5th place as it stands, and up towards the line. There might be a change now for 2nd place because Peter Hills goes to the outside line, gets the job done on James Lindridge, and he moves through. They run slightly wide in towards Paddock Hill Bend and eventually gives a place away. And Ian Fraser is slowing. The leader of our Libra class has lost all power on the run towards Druids Corner. So afraid to say that Ian Fraser may well be out of this race.
Yep, that is a shame, and I'm just keeping an eye on another battle. There is almost too much to watch here, isn't there? Because now we have a 4-way battle for the lead as they come down the start-finish line at the moment, and Ian Curley is really under pressure from Aaron Smith now, who moves to the outside as they go into Paddock Hill Bend. But Kane Astin senses an opportunity from 3rd place, but he is now really being pressured by Sam Summerhays in the 85. So all 4 of them now head up towards Druids, and Sam Summerhays looks like he's going to make an attempt around the outside of Kane Astin as Kane Astin's trying to make a move on the inside of Aaron Smith at the same time. So all 3 of these are battling. It just gives Ian Curley a little bit of space, breathing space in the number 5 in the lead, but that next group, that next trio are really, really close together. But yet again, the 0 of Aaron Smith manages to pull right up to the back of Ian Curley, and as they come up through Clearways and then down towards Clark, it's going to be great to see if any of them are going to make an attempt as they come down the start-finish straight and towards Paddock Hill Bend. But all 4 of these leading cars now really close together, and this could be anyone's race as they come down past us and down towards Paddock Hill Bend now. And it is a great attempt by Aaron Smith, and again Kane Astin attempting around the outside. He seems to like that line because it gives him a good run down towards Druids, and is he going to make an attempt around the outside as they come towards Druids? It certainly looks like that. He's got to be very careful to defend from Sam Summerhays behind him, and all 4 of these cars incredibly close together as we get towards Graham Hill Bend.
Yeah, these 3 cars will not want to do what they did early on and allow Ian Curley to get away, so they won't make the same mistake twice, as Kane Astin still challenges the back of Aaron Smith in 2nd place, but still managing to keep with the race leader Ian Curley at the same time. Sam Summerhays just losing a bit of ground there on this lap by about 3 car lengths as they turn their way through Clearways and Clark Curve. A lot of curb being taken as well for Kane Astin in the number 11 machine, and he'll get a very good tow up towards the line on this occasion. And this might actually be a role reversal or a rehearsal for what's going to happen later on, as now Aaron Smith has a little bit of a look down towards Paddock Hill Bend. But yeah, maybe a bit of a rehearsal what they want to do on the last lap, because if you're there or thereabouts, you can get the tow. You might be able to drag it to the line, and we've seen that on many occasions here at the mini festival in years gone by. So Kane Astin will know what to do very well indeed. All he now needs to think about is keeping with those ahead of him and not kind of delaying himself and falling further back. And to be fair, he's doing that nearabouts as they work their way again through Graham Hill Bend. He gets a good run along the Cooper Straight. He's not really going to have any chance of passing down towards Surtees because Aaron Smith in the 0 machine very much has it covered.
Yes, he certainly does, and this is a cracking battle. And And the number 5 of Ian Curley is just holding the lead at the moment, and he's holding it about 1 car length, which seems to be relatively comfortable. Certainly in mini terms, that's very comfortable. As they come across the line, the one that does look like he's going to make an attempt is the number 11 of Kane Astin, who has been incredibly quick. But as he moves towards the outside at Paddock Hill Bend, that seems to be the favoured line, because that really gives him a good run, and he's incredibly close to the 0 of Aaron Smith as they head towards Druid now. And Kane Astin almost pulls alongside as they get towards Druids, but unfortunately is unable to make that stick. But at Graham Hill Bend, is he able to put the car up the inside? Great defensive driving from the 0 of Aaron Smith, but it's all meaning that the number 5 of Ian Curley is just creeping fractionally ahead every time. Sam Summerhays very much in the mix as well, just holding on to the curtails of these battling 3 at the front of this race.
Yep, Ian Curley, a 3-time winner so far this year, but as we mentioned, a non-finish yesterday, so that puts him slightly on the back foot. But it's Kane Astin, the man in 3rd place, who's on the run of form at the minute. 3 wins in a row after 2 at Zandvoort and 1 yesterday here at Brands Hatches. As we said, just on the tail as Aaron Smith now looks for the inside line again in towards Paddock Hill Bend, but you've got to be a little bit closer than that to catch out Ian Curley. But all of a sudden, as Sam Summerhays dropped back from the top 3, he's now with them once again. So we have our quad out front as they turn away from Druids and down the hill. But as I say, Kane Astin on this good run of form at the minute will be loving seeing what's happening ahead of him, with probably those drivers on track in 1st and 2nd, just using a bit more of their tyres, and Kane can just kind of mosey through without too many dramas and too much pushing. For now, he's going to try and hope that Aaron Smith does all the work to unfold that of Ian Curley as he works his way in towards clearways. Again, they always look to make a move, but actually they are just sitting where they are for the time being. With just over 7 minutes to go, these cars come back round. Just to say, the Libra is still being led, in fact, now by James Lindridge. So he's gone through. Richard Billingham 2nd, and 3rd place for the 1-2-3 machine of that of Hugh Turner. Yeah, and Aaron Smith, as you say, that takes a much wider line, almost the Kane Astin line around the outside of Paddock Hill Bend, and that's got him a good run up. He's incredibly close to Ian Curley in that number 5, but he's not able to make that stick. Sam Summerhays seems to be loving this because he's reeled all of them back in, and Ian Curley's fractional lead that he had before is certainly not in existence, and it's almost as if Aaron Smith has kind of saved things a little bit towards the end of this race, and Kane Astin cannot be counted out at all. He is just kind of sitting, waiting to see if there's any kind of any scraps to be gained from that battle between Ian Curley and Aaron Smith at the front of this race. But it certainly looks like Smith is looking like quite an aggressive move at the moment. He's positioning his car at different places, certainly as they go through clearways, through Clark. The car looks like it's in different positions than it has been in other laps, and it certainly has another run as they go towards Paddock Hill Bend now. Looks a little bit of a feint to the outside, but thinks better of it as Kane Astin in the number 11 takes the opportunity to almost pull alongside as they head up to Druids. Can Kane Astin actually get up the inside or towards the outside? This battle is absolutely fantastic between these 4, but it's the 2 in the middle that we're keeping an eye on at the moment. It's Aaron Smith in the 0 and Kane Astin in the number 11, because the 0 of Aaron Smith is under a huge amount of pressure from Kane Astin as they head back up towards the clearway section of the course. They do indeed, yep. And Aaron Smith will want to be a little bit careful here, because he comes here this weekend 4th in the championship, just 14 points back from Ian Curley. Of course, his main objective will be to try and finish ahead of Ian and grab some points. But of course, he'll still want to finish this race and get as many points as he possibly can. So just being as careful as he possibly can as he works his way still in 2nd place across the line. Kane Astin gets another good run on the outside, but of course, Kane now in this position of attacking and defending at the same time. So if he goes for a move, he needs to be careful that Sam Summerhays in that 85 machine doesn't get himself through as well, because that would mean that Kane Astin would be off the podium in this 2nd race of the weekend. But still nothing to choose between the top 4 as they work their way down towards Graham Hill Bend. We've had a retirement, unfortunately, for Hugh Turner. He's just pulled off on the inside of Graham Hill Bend with some issues, unfortunately, in the Libra class. And now, with just under 5 minutes to go, we're starting to work our way into some traffic. I was just about to say this leading group of 4 are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
6 cars to contend with within the next lap or two. And so this is really potentially going to be the opportunity that the likes of Aaron Smith and Kane Austin and Sam Summerhays have been waiting for to potentially take the lead of this race. And Ian Curley has been doing a great defensive job throughout this race. But yeah, as we close on these back markers within this lap, they're going to be there. In fact, we can see the blue lights flashing to warn the slower drivers from the Libra cars that this leading quartet are coming through. But Ian Curley leading up, but Sam Summerhays around the outside of Kane Austin. If he can make that one stick, he'll be doing incredibly well. The idea is he's trying to keep the inside line towards Graham Hill Bend, but unfortunately Kane Aston was very, very wise to that move and managed to keep his way there. A little bit of shoulder barging from Ian Curley there. That was incredibly close with that back marker, who I think was a bit unsighted with the leaders coming through, and that could have been quite catastrophic. But Ian Curley doing incredibly well there to make his presence felt.
Certainly was, yeah. I don't think the back marker quite saw the blue flag, so Ian was kind of halfway alongside. He had made the move and he couldn't really back out of it, so he was hoping that the slower car didn't turn in on him as he comes through now across the line. Ian Curley still with Aaron Smith behind him, Kane Aston there in third position, and Sam Summerhays actually just dropping back a few car lengths once again with the traffic, which didn't quite work in his favour as Curley goes almost sideways through Paddock Hill Bend. He loses momentum up the hill, and Kane Aston now will be the man to try and challenge down the inside of Aaron Smith, which he does. So he goes into second place while they continue to work their way through the traffic. Kane Aston is now just about clear of Aaron Smith briefly, but Aaron then has the inside line for the next corner, tries to take second place back, which he can't quite do. They're going to be rubbing. Kane Aston is shoveled slightly out wide, and now again he has to make sure that Sam Summerhays doesn't come back through to take that final step on the podium. So great racing between all of them, of course, whilst making their way through the traffic as well. And Kane Aston here almost had that move for second, but just had to back out of the final minute.
Yeah, you mentioned Sam Summerhays there putting the pressure on Kane Aston. Actually, Sam Summerhays himself nearly got taken out by one of the other back markers there as well at that moment, and that's why he's now dropped back about 2 or 3 car lengths behind. But Kane Aston, as they head towards Paddock Hill Bend, makes that another wide move, which seems to work for him. It keeps the momentum going as they go towards Druids now. Kane Aston looks like he's right the way out on the wide line. Going to have to be careful of track limits, but really trying to put Aaron Smith under pressure. And what they can see in there in front of them is a couple more back markers, and these are the kind of opportunities that the likes of Kane Aston and Aaron Smith really want to make the opportunities where they're there. But Ian Curley manages to cut very, very safely through those 2 back markers, as do the rest of the field. In fact, those back markers doing an incredibly good job of keeping out the way. But it is now the 0 of Aaron Smith, who is right up with the leader Ian Curley in the number 5, and that's now that gap he had has now completely diminished, and Kane Aston is not letting them get away. But Sam Summerhays also only about a car length gap, so he's managed to catch back up from that little mishap with the back markers. But as we go towards Paddock, Aaron Smith makes a dive for the inside, but thinks better of it. Kane Aston sticks to that wide line that he's been using almost every lap, and he runs very wide as they come through Paddock Hill Bend again. Seems very intentional because he keeps the momentum as they go through. But Aaron Smith now looks like he could be making an attempt on the leader as they come down towards Graham Hill Bend. But it's Kane Aston again, who's then Aaron Smith was looking like he was going to put a move on, but then having to defend from the very, very rapid Kane Aston as they head through the straight now. And it's Sam Summerhays. Sam Summerhays, an audacious move coming from very, very far back, but actually as they head towards Clearways, he's now grabbed third place.
He is, yeah. There was a little bit of contact actually between Aaron Smith and Kane Aston, so both got delayed slightly, which saw Sam Summerhays through on the inside. So Kane Aston, lap after lap, has just seen this race disappear from him. He's now off the podium as we start the last lap of the race for this second mini Miglia race of the weekend. Down through Paddock Hill Bend, they dropped for the final time. Ian Curley is your leader now by just under 3/4 of a second. Aaron Smith trying to hold on for second place as Sam sends one, or tries to the inside line. Almost made contact there between the 2 of them. Kane Aston now comes back into the mix as well to try and steal the final place on the podium. And I think it is now going to be for second, third and fourth. Not really worried about Ian Curley because he's almost gone in terms of mini gaps here. He's up the road. He's in towards 30s for the final time. And Ian Curley looking for what's going to be his 4th win of the season. Hasn't won since that meeting at Silverstone as Sam Summerhays goes for the inside line, and Kane Aston's going to take the place as well. So on the last lap, Sam and Kane go through, and Aaron Smith, who's been sitting in second place for so long, is going to be down off the podium as Ian Curley comes through to take the first win of his weekend, 4th of the year in the Mini Miglias. Second place goes the way of Sam Summerhays in the dying stages of that race, and Kane Astin at the final corner gets himself through on Aaron Smith. So that's third and fourth. Fifth place across the line, number 82, is Elliot Stafford, and then behind that, number 7 is Phil Bullen-Brown. Seventh place for number 36 with Josh Canning, and then Colin Peacock with Sean King and the 84 machine of Ryan Taylor complete the top 10. For the Libras, still waiting for them to come through, but it's going to be a commanding win by the looks of it in the end for James Lindridge. He is a few seconds up the road from Peter Hills. So Lindridge on for what will in fact be, by the looks of it, his first win of the season. So well done to James, who comes through now. He picks up the spoils in the Libras. He's absolutely delighted with his hand out of the window there. So he picks up the victory in Libras ahead of Peter Hills. And Richard Billingham completes the podium in that class in the 1-2-1 machine. But happy drivers all round by the looks of it, as Ian Curley flashes his lights on the run through Clearways and Clark Curve on the way back into the pit lane, joined of course by Sam Summerhays and Kane Astin inside the top 3. Just to confirm the results for you, those top 3 as we just mentioned: Aaron Smith in 4th place, with Elliot Stafford next up in 5th. Phil Bullen-Brown was just under 10 seconds back from the winner in the end, Ian Curley. And then Josh Canning, Colin Peacock, Sean King and Ryan Taylor, your top 10. Mark Sims and then James Lindridge, the winner of the Libra class, down in 12th place overall. Further back from them, Peter Hill 2nd and Richard Billingham in 3rd. 15th overall, Julian Proctor, with Robert Humphreys, Ben Norfolk, Andrew Dickinson, Philip Harvey and Les Stanton, your top 20. And the final finisher, that of Mark Cowan, down in 21st place. So an absolutely barnstorming race there for the Goodyear Mini Challenge, which, supported by Mini Spares, brings us the Mini Miglias. Lucky for all of you, they'll have one more race to look forward to this afternoon. Slightly after the lunch break, about 3:05 is when we'll have them back onto the circuit.